Hey strong people, Beck here from StartingStrongman.com, and finally I'm publishing my Log Lift World Championships 2019 preview. Been sick, baby's been sick, you don't care. But if you do care, go to Amazon.com/shop/StartingStrongman for recommended products by me for the sport of strongman. Get a little kickback, and it helps. And who doesn't shop on Amazon? Anyways, on to the show. The 2019 Log Lift World Championships are just days away, taking place April 6th at the First Direct Arena in Leeds. It will be the first event of Europe's Strongest Man, so everyone who's competing in Europe's Strongest Man, including Konstantin Janashia, Mark Felix, Tom Stoltman, Mateusz Kiluszkowski, Adam Bishop, Mikhail Shivlikov, Luke Stoltman, Lawrence Chalet, and Hafthor Bjornsson. They will all be doing this because it's the first event. And they will also be joined by guest lifters who are just doing the Log Lift Championships. However, these athletes' score in the log lift has no effect on Europe's Strongest Man. There is usually extra prize money for who wins. I had the figures for that last year. I could have dug them up, but it was a significant chunk for doing one event compared to the whole show. And there's a bonus for if you hit the world record, which is currently 228 kilograms by Zydrunas Savickas. The guest lifters include Graham Hicks, Iron Bibby, Rob Kearney, Robert Oberst, and Brian Shaw, plus wildcard athlete Larry Wheels. So, a little bit of news. Brian Shaw, I believe, said on his YouTube channel that he is not competing. He has that hamstring injury that he suffered on the elephant bar at the Arnold and will not be ready. And I'm hearing mixed things on if Robert Oberst is going to be competing as well. So that's unfortunate. So I'm just going to focus on the athletes I have in mind. Konstantin Janashia hit a good 200 kilos. Mateusz, I believe, is good for over 200 kilos. He looked a little banged up at the Arnold. Hopefully he's healed. Other notable athletes from it, Hafthor hit 213 last year for an Icelandic record, I believe. And those I think that's about safe. I think the jumps this year, that's important information, from what I hear, are going to be 175. You can do the conversions to pounds if you want. 175, 190, then 202, then 214, and then 230. I think 202 because there's a couple, country records that are set at 200 kilos because that's a common jump. So they're just putting it up a couple kilos, so maybe a Janashia could get the new Georginian, is that right? Record if he hits 202 and stuff like that. 214. So the American record currently is 463? I think it's like 212 or 211. Yeah, I think it's 211, and the British record is 212 or 213, somewhere in there. So basically, the Icelandic record, the British record, and the American record, they found a nice number of 214, which would break all of those. So they don't have to just jump a kilogram just to get those individual records. I think Hafthor has a good shot at it. Looked a little shaky on the Austrian Oak, but the Austrian Oak is a harder log in general. And they had just done the Wheel of Pain, and he tried to deadlift 501 kilos on the elephant bar and stuff like that. So fresh. First event, couple weeks to recover since the Arnold. I think Hafthor is good for 214. I think that Rob Kearney is good for it as well. Larry Wheels could hit 202. 214 is possible. I'm going to say there's going to be a technical mishap. He's strong enough, just doesn't have the experience yet. But Larry always proves me wrong, whether people like it or not. So if he hit 214, would not be shocked. Hicks, I think, has that money in the tank. Let's go. Rob Kearney just posted a 213 slash 470 pound log that looked just as routine as could be. It was beautiful. He just had a great contest, probably the best he's ever looked at the Arnold Australia, winning the event. He hit 200 kilograms and looked like he had another 15 or 20 kilos on the day in that event, and that's with traveling all the way to Australia from the United States, which is not a fun flight, I hear. I think 220 could go for Kearney. Hicks hit 220 kilos on the exact log that is going to be used, and it looked easy. I think he has that as well, and is my pick for the best shot at hitting 230 kilos. He's huge right now. He's not that tall, and he's weighing a lot. What was he weighing? I'll get back to that. Bibby, I think, is the strongest presser here. I think he has the best overall strength, but I think he's just technically not there. He did post a 228 kilo log on his Instagram in training. There's almost no plates on the side of it. I have been told that he fills up his log with sand for extra weight because weights are hard to come by there. That's kind of crazy. If it really is full of sand, I would imagine that that's even harder than a log with that's just wood and weights. But we will see. I think, Hicks is weighing almost 160 kilos at the moment, and he's not the tallest athlete. By far the heaviest he's ever weighed. Even on the log that Bibby did at the top, he doesn't stabilize it. It wouldn't be a good rep if I was judging or how it should be judged. They're pretty lenient when it comes to world record logs in general. If we look at history as far as giving reps or not and stabilization, I think you should have full control and be able to take a second pause at the top and hold it, not just it was locked out and down. And you don't see a lot of Bibby doing that in his training. And with the wooden log, it's going to be even harder. We saw years ago Eddie lose it behind him. That's from balance of the log and your upper back having to stabilize it. And I think that's going to be his same problem. So Larry, I think, would have a similar problem. It's just he has had so few reps on log that it could either go really good and he could hit 214, which is, even if he hits, 190 is insane with how little he's been training log specifically. People spend a decade to get to 190 pound log, 190 kilo log, sorry. I spent a decade to get to 190 pound log. 202, I really think he's going to hit that. Whoever the list of athletes that have hit a 200 kilogram log in a competition, not in training, is very short, a lot shorter than people would think. The amount of people that have hit over 214 is like 5 or less, maybe. I think it's very few. It's basically Zadrunas and some Radzikowski clips and a few other people here and there, including, that have even, I think maybe even Radzikowski is the second highest still when he hit 214 or 215. Don't know why Radzikowski's not competing. Zadrunas appears to starting to train back up after recovering from some injuries. He said on his Instagram it's his longest offseason he's ever had. So he's not competing, but he did announce that he is doing his log lift world championships sponsored by SVD in Lithuania, and I think he's planning to break his own record, or if that record's been broken, whatever the world record is at that time, and giving it another shot. And that's later this year. He posted it on his social media. And the cool thing about that is it even has like a 80 kilogram men's, 90 kilo, 105 kilo. It has all the weight classes for men and women. It's a log lift world championships, and it's in Lithuania. Really makes me feel like if I had the time and I wasn't suffering from random back injuries and just life and everything, that I'd want to go do something like that. That's actually something that entices me. Other thing that no one cares about, people ask if I want to compete again. Something like that. Like, I'm going to travel over to Lithuania, Zadrunas is putting it on. Do a log lift world championship. If I felt ready and in shape, something like that would make me want to compete again. But none of those things are true at the moment. I am not ready. I'm not in shape. So maybe next year, maybe 2020. We'll see. Anyways, sum it up. I think it's between Hicks and Kearney and Bibby as the top. Larry Wheels will be exciting. I think we're going to get a new Icelandic record, possibly. I think that Konstantin Janasia, if he looked as good as he did, probably also a new Polish record at 2:14. Would not be surprised by that. I assume that's a new Polish record. I have to double check. Konstantin Janasia might be right there. Probably hit 2:02. Yeah, and it's exciting. Thanks for watching. I am Kalle Beck. Stay tuned. Watch the next video tomorrow for my Europe's Strongest Man predictions.